Hey everybody, how's it going? So my cock blocker gate pedal's been out for a couple weeks, and a bunch of guys have come at me with a bunch of different questions. Most notably, why the hell should I spend $219 on this versus the Boss NS2, which is about $97-98 on Amazon? Well, first and foremost, for $219, shipping is included, so there is that. But more importantly, there is a fundamental difference in how these pedals work. Both can use what's called the 4-cable method. That's where you have cable going into your pedal, then into the front of your amp, and then 2 more cables going to your amp's effects loop to shut it off. But the big difference is on the Boss NS2, you've got a threshold and a sustain knob, whereas on the cock blocker, you've got just a single knob. And I'm going to show you guys the difference. See, with the NS2, it's kind of a trade-off thing. You either get one or the other. You really don't get both very well. You either get nice long sustained notes or you don't. I mean, it doesn't really adapt to different kinds of playing. So if I want to do a sustained note on the NS2 like this, it's not horrible, but the problem is if I want to play, you know, like heavy, chunky riffs, so I get that closing effect, and it can be kind of distracting. So what we want to do is decrease the threshold. Maybe bring the sustain back a little bit. There, that's nice and tight. The only problem is when we do that, we lose sustain on the guitar. Yeah, it's kind of nasty. Now, the cool thing about the cock blocker is you can set the one knob for just kind of a sweet spot between both styles of playing, and it should suit you fine. Now, we're going to set the threshold for just about the 8 o'clock mark on the cock blocker, and check this out. For staccato playing, but we still get some sustain out of it. Now, if we want more of a chop on that, and we can still get some pretty wicked sustain. It's more of a gradual fade, and if we want even more sustain, we just dial that back. Just sounds a little more natural. Now, what's great about the cock blocker is you can kind of find a happy medium for both styles. You don't have to kind of choose one or the other. You can get a lot of sustain. And it seems to be a bit more of a natural fall off, but you can still get some nice, tight rhythm chunks. And if you want even more, you can just back the threshold off just a tiny bit. Now, I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but there was also a tone shift going between the two pedals. I've read this online. This seems to be a common complaint with a lot of guitar players, is that the NS2 does seem to eat a bit of the guitar's tone, whereas the cock blocker does not. Check this out. I'll show you guys exactly what I mean here. Everything is set up exactly the same. The only difference is the pedal. Now, for even more proof on that, check this out. I did a bit of multi-tracking over the last couple of days with the cock blocker and with the NS2, both with the exact same amp settings. Check out the tonal differences we got in this. Okay, so I tracked a piece the other day using both the cock blocker and the NS2. I just kind of wanted to get a feel how things would sound in a mix. So what we've got here is just a real simple riff. Just wanted to test how things work with sustain, with chunky rhythms, and then maybe a little bit of pull off, that kind of thing too. And I'm just going to show you guys the difference between using the cock blocker versus the NS2. So here's like the chunky riff part. Now, bear in mind on the guitars here, this is just straight out of the amp. There's no EQ effects or anything going on. I've got all the tracks mixed the exact same way. So I'm just going to swap out the two different takes and show you guys the tonal differences. Check this out. Now that was a cock blocker. Check this out with the NS2. Now, if you guys listen closely, there is a subtle tone shift going on there with the NS2 tracks. If I take a listen to these. And we switch back over to the cock blocker. Tone just seems a little bit more alive. There's a little bit more top end. There's a little bit more gain going on as well. So I don't know what's going on signal wise, but the NS2 is definitely changing the tone ever so slightly. Once again, let's take a listen to the next riff here. This is just like a subtle pick and pull off kind of thing. Very much an Iron Maiden kind of feel here. So we go back here, like let's listen to the NS2 track. So yeah, again, the NS2 track just doesn't quite seem to have the same impact. Now let's check it out. I got this sustaining bit here. Let's see what happens here. That drops off fairly quick. Let's see what the NS2 does. Definitely gets a little bit more sustain there, but I think I had to set the threshold a little bit higher for this piece right here. Back on the cock blocker. So, again, it's pretty much the same effect, but it does seem to affect the tone ever so slightly with the NS2. And then I've got a very lightly picked part here between the two. Definitely a lot more natural sounding with the cock blocker track. It's just a little bit smoother. Again, I think that just shows off, just how much it really doesn't fuck with your signal. Now, just for fun, I thought I'd run the bass guitar through the cock blocker as well. If you use the blocker in and out at the top here, it functions as a normal gate. So I use this on the way in, and we threw a little bit of dark glass parallax on the bass track and got this. So there you go. There's the cock blocker versus NS2 soloed up in NMX. Now, normally I don't record with gates, but I thought it would be prudent to show this off and show exactly what these pedals are doing to your guitar signal. All right, so a bunch of you guys were asking about hooking up effects to the effects loop with the cock blocker. It's pretty simple. You just put your modulation effects after the blocker. So the blocker out will go to the input on the flashback. The output of the flashback will go to the effects return. And, just play away as normal. Yeah, I don't play effects very much. Now, if you were going to use an overdrive pedal, you would put that after the output on the blocker just to keep things nice and clean so you're not amplifying the signal going into the gate. Okay, so that's it. Hopefully that cleared a few things up for you guys. Just want to give you a heads up. We are already more than halfway sold out of all available units for the pre-order. So if you want to get your hands on the SMG cock blocker gate, I'd suggest getting in on the pre-order now because I can't guarantee that things are going to be around much longer. The pre-order is supposed to go to near the end of December, but honestly, with the way they're selling, they're probably not going to last all that much longer. Follow the links in the description below. Check it out. There's a few more demos. I'll have some links to those as well. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and thank you very much for checking out the pedal. Take it easy.